Welcome to UK Business Show, UK's premier business show where we feature business thought leaders, high achievers, and industry experts. Today's episode is brought to you by World Outsourcing Solutions Limited, a company that specializes in helping executive business owners with virtual assistant services and business growth systems. Here's your host, Yukai Kechidori.
Welcome back to another very special episode. And today, I'm super excited to be joined by a dear friend all the way from Michigan, who's going to be sharing with you something I truly believe, with all my heart, is important for business owners if they want to either start well or to finish strong. And it is about knowing whose goals are you following or whose goals are you going after. Too often, we go after goals and we hit those goals. And when we get there, we are not satisfied. And when you look very closely, you will find that it was somebody else's goals. I'll tell you a story before I introduce my guest here. Growing up at a very young age, my father loved me, but he had particular goals. He wanted me to study accounting. I studied accounting and qualified in getting the qualification that is needed. When I then went on to practice accounting, I did not enjoy it. Fortunately, I had started on the journey of personal development. I quickly switched onto something that brought tremendous joy. Do you identify yourself in this? Or maybe you are actually doing this thing, you're going after goals, but those goals are truly not yours. Well, today, if you want to explore that, stay tuned because my guest, Shonna Amos, is with us here to share with us exactly how you can know if you're going after your goals or somebody else's goal. Shonna, thank you so much for joining us here tonight.
Thank you, Yukai. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you.
It's always a joy when you come on the show because it's always a great conversation. In fact, earlier on, we were talking about, what is happening in your world. And for those who haven't listened to any of your speaking gigs or your conversation or even enrolled in your coaching program, tell us who you are in the world of business and how it all started.
Absolutely. My pleasure. Well, my name, as you mentioned, is Shonna Amos, and I'm the founder of EWP Coaching and Consulting. And EWP stands for Explore What's Possible. And I'm truly on a mission to help professionals in and outside of the corporate space truly explore what's possible for their personal and professional lives. So you asked how it came about. I shared with you a little bit earlier that I never really viewed myself as an entrepreneur, and I'll talk a little bit later about why some of those thoughts came up. But it came about from a passion for coaching and being in service of others, and also my background and expertise in human resources for the last 15 years plus. So that's how EWP came about, and I'm just thrilled to share a little bit more with you and your audience.
I appreciate that. One of the things that you shared with me earlier on was, you went and joined an organization that did not really sit well with you, and that forced you to step out in faith. Do share with us what that was about.
Yes. Well, I am known to be a planner and known to really have a definition of what's next for me in life. And I decided to leave an organization that I had been with for about 5 years. Wonderful team. I keep in contact with them on a consistent basis, and wanted to go to another organization based off of some goals that I thought were important and a priority for me. And there were just a number of things that just were not aligned with my values and who I am and how I want to show up as a leader and a person authentically. And I made a tough decision to leave without knowing what was next. But on the side, I was building EWP, and this is something that's been in my head and on my heart for quite some time. So I felt like it was a sign to step out on faith and lean into EWP completely.
I love that when you mentioned you step out of faith, because in the world of business, entrepreneur, this is a recurring thing. We have to step out of in faith and really go after our dreams, truly what we want to achieve for us to be happy. Because if you are following somebody else's dreams, when you get those dreams, you won't be extremely satisfied. But you touched on something very important there, Shonna, which I'm hoping our listeners will get. And it was the fact that, you deliberately left what you had and it was comfortable to go after your dream? What was the agency in that?
Ooh, I can feel it like it was just yesterday. I won't act like it was an easy decision or that it was just smooth sailing throughout. There was a lot of fear. There was a lot of unknown. But I was at the point that I wanted to start to stretch and get uncomfortable. So I think I was just open to that being a part of my existence in this world instead of being so planned. Let's see what happens if you actually don't know what's on the other side and you just learn by doing.
Yes. And how did you handle all that stress, the fear, the anxiety during that time?
If I can be completely honest with you, I felt a sense of relief knowing that I was going towards something that I truly wanted.
Yeah.
So even though there was stress and there was some fear and all of the things that will come up, knowing what the end goal is, which is the impact that I want to create and the value that I want to create, that helped to ground me consistently. Even now, it just continues to ground me because on those stressful days when you feel like you're watering and planting and you're not necessarily seeing the flowers bud, and then on those days where you see a full, beautiful garden, either way, the end goal, that impact is, I think, what continues to keep me grounded.
Indeed. You know, I go through this all the time because I'm exploring. In fact, it's on your website, a beautiful website you have on there, is when you're consistently exploring new things to add value, to grow, develop as a person, and be of greater service to the world. You go through this stress, and I go through this stress, and here's how I do it as well. For those listening, on top of what Shonna has mentioned is, I take time to look deep inside and remind myself of the fact that I can do more than what I think I can. And I have more strength than I think I can. And I do have a couple of, meditation music that I play. And I have that quiet moment where, I really get to center myself and look at, okay, here's what I want. Okay, there's a reason why I want this. What is that reason? What is the reason behind that? And begin to really go after it. Always worked for me. And I know it works for some of our listeners. So I wanted to point that out. Before we jump into talking about, whose goals truly are you going after and everything about it. You've worked with some amazing people over the last few years. Do you mind sharing some of the testimonies, some of the great results you've produced for those that have worked with you?
Yeah, absolutely. One is standing out because it's someone that was a client that turned into a friend. And it's someone that when we first connected, just felt very just stuck and overwhelmed. And a lot of it was centered around career goals and wanting to truly determine what was the right next step. And in the end, as she took that pause that you just mentioned, and one of the things that I love to do with clients, and this is something I did with my coach, is to name that voice, name that inner critic that tells you that you're not enough or you're doing too much or what your idea is won't work. Through the work that we did together, she was able to realize that she was holding on to goals that were not hers, that she was trying to live up to the values and expectations of others. And she was able to clearly define what her definition of success and fulfillment is and go after that.
Yes, yeah, I love that. Isn't that the case oftentimes when you help people, they transition from being customers to being friends that you can call upon? I love that when that happens. It happens all the time here. Shonna, let's dive deep. For those people who are considering, am I really going after what I want? Or this is my parents' goals, or this is my organization's goals, or this is my country's goal, whatever it may be. Where can they start in identifying where they are at and where to go?
Yeah. The first step is to achieve clarity. And the way that you can do that is to take a step back and think about the words success. Because oftentimes I think success is associated with a specific title, the comparison of what other people are doing on social media. There's so many things that have crafted our definition of success, but success is more than money and titles. Success for me transitioned from wanting X title by X age to wanting more time with family, wanting less stress, wanting to feel more free and fulfilled. So it starts with truly defining what is success for you away from the expectations of everyone else, getting truly deep into what you want at the core without someone else's expectations.
Oh, I love that. Because, with that, you'll be able to go after easily. I remember listening to Earl Nightingale, for those who are in the audience who know this. He defines success as the progressive realization of a predefined goal. You pre-decide that this is what you want to do. If you're a housewife, or if you are a teacher, or you are a business owner, or you're a CEO, what is it that you sit down and say, this is what I want to do? And then you slowly but surely, confidently move towards that goal. And if you, like you rightly say, that Shonna, that if you can actually be very clear on what success to you means, or what is your ideal goal, and then you slowly, I say slowly intentionally because usually it is very slow, but when you do it right, it's fulfilling along the journey. And when you get there, you'll also be happy. I like when you just do anything, you do it fast and you're not happy doing it, and you're not happy even when you get there. So what was the whole point in that?
What you just said really resonated with me. And one of the things that I try to encourage people to get clarity on is, what are you running towards? Not just what you're running away from, because we know the frustration. We know the things that we're trying to walk away from. But if we move too fast, then we end up in situations that are pretty close to mirror images of the things we were running away from. If we take that time and truly define what we're running towards, then we won't get distracted by the things that we're comfortable with from the past.
Indeed. Well, if you're just joining us, we are talking about this topic, which I think is incredible. The moment you know for a fact that you're working towards your goals, predetermined goals, you will feel great about yourself. And if you don't know that, you're in for a treat, because my dear friend here, Shonna, is showing you exactly how you do that. So once people are very clear and they know that this is their goal, what they want to talk about or what they want to work on, in your experience, what is the next thing they need to do or work towards?
The next thing is to believe it and to have the confidence to go after it. So that's where that voice starts to creep in, because if it's new and it's different and it's taking you in a different direction, even if it's as simple as, I never thought that I would be a leader, and now I want to explore leading people. There's a voice. Our mind it's really conditioned to protect us, right? Yeah. So that voice will come up and tell you that, I don't know if this is a good idea, or you can't do that. What do you think you're doing? So the next thing is to find ways and techniques and tactics to not let that voice win. And then to also stand up in your confidence and go after those things. So it's all about having tools in your toolbox to go after what that goal is with confidence, and finding the confidence within yourself.
Absolutely. Belief is the key, to achieving anything. If you don't believe it, it's not going to happen for you. Even if it's happening for everybody else, but it won't happen for you. You have to find a way to believe it in yourself. Somebody once said, how do you get to believe into something? Keep looking for evidence of you doing that or doing something similar before. I'll give you an example. If you see people succeeding in education and you want to be in education, you look at elements or some aspects of your life where you participated and you achieved in education, and you begin to move towards that. It is truly amazing how you develop and strengthen your belief in something. And get other people who truly believe in you, keep on speaking life in you. Somebody once said to me, Shonna, borrow my belief in you. Believe in my belief on credit before you even see it. I want to say to the listeners today, maybe you don't have belief in yourself. Maybe you find it difficult. I want to ask you the same question that my coach once asked me. Trust me on credit. Take my belief in you as if it is true and begin to go after your own dreams. You will soon believe it yourself. Once you see the results that you want coming in, your belief will be able to shoot up, which is incredible. You touched on something very important there, Shonna, about confidence. Once you've got belief, you need to start working on your confidence. And I know from your experience working with so many people, how have you helped them build on that belief in creating that confidence they need to continuously pursuing their goals?
Mm-hmm. So confidence is something that it starts from within, but I also believe that it's something that you can also find the evidence, similar to what you just said. You can find the evidence outside of you as well. So if you're going after something and you're not quite sure if you can succeed, find situations where you have succeeded in something.
Yes.
It may not be exact, but there were some lessons, there were some trials, there were some things that you had to move past and move through that will equip you to move through this situation as well. The other thing is when you start to doubt and question yourself, take that moment and think, is this true? Is what I'm thinking and saying in this moment definitively true? I'm not good enough. Everyone else is naturally talented. I think that's something oftentimes people see, quote unquote, success, and they assume that other people are just innately talented, but everyone had to start from somewhere. We all had to grow and build and develop. So question, is what I'm thinking in this moment true? The other thing, often we think about what can go wrong. Why won't this work? When those thoughts come up, think about what if this works? What will I do when I succeed? We have to start thinking and saying positive things about the experience to build that confidence to keep moving forward.
Absolutely love that. What can go right? Whatever you may be working on today, maybe you had a very challenging day today, and you're not feeling great about that day. Think about what could go right as a result of today. You just change that perspective, and it's amazing the energy you get. I absolutely love that. We're coming toward the end of our time together, but I know for a fact, Shonna, that there will be people that are interested in perhaps working with you or just learning more from you. Where can they find you?
They can find me on my website. It's explorewhat'spossible.org. And they can also connect with me on LinkedIn. I would love to connect with you and get to know you on LinkedIn. My LinkedIn is just Coach Shonna, Shonna. But I would definitely say start with explorewhat'spossible.org and we can be in touch.
Incredible. Let's go back to what we were talking about there. For those who perhaps would have identified that whatever goals that they are working on are not really from their inner self, or they're not what they believe they're supposed to be working on. Talk us through the process of moving away from that and beginning following their heart, to go after their goals.
Yeah. So once you have that clarity and you're working on and building that confidence, you have to be okay with taking action. And it may not all be beautiful. It may not be perfectly planned out. You have to be committed to taking action. There's a coach that I had that talked about imperfect action, and that continues to resonate with me because we learn by doing. If you think about some of the major brands that we all know and support, no brand is the same that they were from the very beginning. So try, test, get your data, come back and revamp. Sometimes you may completely reinvent yourself. The other thing is continuing, and I know I mentioned this earlier, but continuing to think about your why, because there's so much noise in the industry. There's so much noise in the world, and in that voice that creeps up in our mind. Yeah. So if you are clear on your values and the impact that you want to make, that will help your steps. That'll help you guide your steps toward that path. Yeah. And staying on track with what are the things that I can do? What's the support that I need in order to actually achieve this goal?
I love that. Taking action, there is no replacement for that. Taking action, here with my team, we have a concept that we say ready, fire, correct. You just go straight at it. Of course, do some calculated risk on there, but just go out and do what you feel is right, and then come back and reassess. I love what you said about considering the data. When you do that, you and consistently moving forward, correct that one thing. It is amazing, really. I don't know about you, Shonna, but what I've discovered when I do something, it may be a small change I make, but at the end of 12 months, the results that I get, I may be starting from one angle, I'll be finishing it another, and the amazing results I get from there is like, okay, small hinges, swings massive doors. So just take action, whatever it is. Now, listen.
Yes, and taking that action step by step and celebrating those small wins, not the big, massive wins. Celebrate those small wins, and remember to look back to where you started.
Yeah, celebrate. If you don't, you're cheating yourself of one of the things that will give you the momentum that you need. Awesome. Shonna, final words from an entrepreneur to another entrepreneur. What is it that keeps you going despite, the pushback, despite, the troubles we have in the world, the negativity around us sometimes? How do you do it?
I remember who I was when I needed the support and the coaching and the personal development and exploration. And I know that there are others that are either the former version of me or the evolving version of me. So what keeps me going is just knowing that I am here to be in service of others. And if I don't go after this goal, there are many that will not go after the goals that they have inside of them.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. If we all think like this, it's amazing how we could truly make the world a better place. But there's always somebody who needs us. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us and learning from my dear friend here. By the way, what is the website again, Shonna, if you could?
Yes, it's explorewhatspossible.org.
Incredible. So go to explorewhatspossible.org and you'll be able to connect directly with Shonna there, or just go straight to the LinkedIn. There you'll be able to reach out to Shonna. And listen, here we truly believe in the role of coaches. And you may be stuck today. Sometimes it's because you are actually in the frame, and it takes somebody who's outside the frame, outside your possible environment to see how you look and see how things can improve. I'd encourage you, if you are not already thinking about reaching out to a coach, it may be Shonna, or it may be any or a team. Reach out. You just never know what is possible. Action, action. Until next time, I want to leave you with these words: live well, live with passion, know that the best is yet to come. Shonna, thanks again, and I wish you the very best, and goodbye for now.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Yukai Business Show. We will be back to bring you more episodes with success stories and advice straight from the experts. Want more? Check out www.yukaibusinessshow.com. Get your free trial of our virtual assistant service today. Just visit www.worldoutsourcingsolutions.com. Quote WOS18 or send us an email at support@worldoutsourcingsolutions.com.